Dear students, today let us discuss problems on module 1, that is on single phase transformers, that on the topic practical transformer on no load. This is the problem based on practical transformer on no load, where we are going to determine magnetizing branch parameter, magnetizing branch parameters like magnetizing current, then primary current, then primary power factor, right? Let us see the problem statement here. A single phase transformer has a turns ratio of 144 bar 432 and operates at flux of 7.5 into 10 raised to minus 3 at 50 hertz. When on no load, the transformer takes 0.24 kVA at power factor of 0.26 lagging from the supply. If the transformer supplies a load of 1.2 kVA at a power factor of 0.8 lagging, determine first one magnetizing current, second one primary current, and then primary power factor. So here you are given with a single phase transformer whose turns ratio is 144/432 and operates flux, maximum flux is given here, that is 7.5, frequency is 50 hertz. Then transformer takes what is that, kVA of 0.24 at a power factor 0.26 lagging, and transformer supplies a load of 1.2 kVA at power factor 0.8 lagging. With all these given conditions, you need to determine magnetizing current, primary power factor. Okay. So always remember, lagging power factor means the type of connected load is inductive in nature. Connected load will be inductive in nature. Okay. Now let us see the solution here. First, you note down all the given parameters. So given is what here? Turns ratio. So this 144 indicates primary number of turns N1, 432 indicates secondary number of turns N2. So write all the given parameter data here. So N1 is 140, N1 is 144, N2 is 432, maximum flux is pi m is 7.5 milliwebers, frequency f is 50 hertz. Now we know the basic equation of transformer, that is V1 is equal to 4.44 N1 pi m f. So now you calculate first what is the voltage on the primary side, V1. So substitute all the given things. For number of turns, N1 is 144, then flux pi m is 7.5 to 10 raised to minus 3, frequency f is 50. So after calculating, the answer for V1 will be 239.76 volts. 239.76 volts. Now, after calculating for magnetizing current V1, then let us calculate no load kVA. No load kVA is given by primary current V1 into no load current I0. So no load kVA is already given for us in the problem statement, that is 0.24 kVA. So we substitute here 0.24 kVA means 10 raised to 3 kilovolt ampere, that is equal to V1. V1 value is 239.76 and unknown parameter is no load current I0. So from this, if you calculate, then I0 will be how much? That is 1 ampere. No load current will be 1 ampere. Okay. Therefore, no load current I0 is 1 ampere. And given power factor is how much here? Cos pi naught. No load kVA power factor is cos pi naught is 0.26. Cos pi naught is 0.26 lagging, which is a given parameter. Now, calculate what is the magnetizing current. First, you need to calculate for magnetizing current. So, in order to get these values, we need to calculate some of the parameters which are required for the calculation of magnetizing current, primary power factor. So now let us calculate magnetizing current first parameter. So we know that magnetizing current Im is given by I naught sine pi naught. So I naught value is 1 ampere, that is 1. Sine pi naught. Sine pi naught means here cos pi naught is given for us. Cos pi naught is 0.26. So sine pi naught means sine of cos inverse of 0.26. So sine pi naught will be sine of, here pi naught, if I want to get, pi naught is equal to cos inverse of 0.26. So in the place of pi naught, here you should take it as cos inverse of 0.26, means I naught sine of cos inverse of 0.26. So if you substitute all the values, 1 into 0.9656, that is equal to magnetizing current Im value is 0.9656 ampere. Fine. Now next parameter is we need to calculate primary current. Primary current I1 we should calculate. Okay, so to calculate that we need to calculate some of the things here. So let us calculate the required things for primary current I1. So load kVA is given for us. Load kVA is given in the problem statement as 1.2 kVA and load power factor is 0.8 lagging. So these are the given parameters for us. So load means it will be connected on the secondary side. So load kVA is equal to I2 into V2, or otherwise secondary current I2 is equal to load kVA divided by secondary voltage V2. So load kVA is 1.2 kVA, that is 1.2 into 10 raised to 3, and V2, this value, it is unknown for us. So now calculate secondary voltage. So to calculate that secondary voltage, we are going to make use of transformation ratio K. K, it can be written in the voltage form as V2 by V1. In terms of turns, it can be written as N2 by N1. So now V2 by V1 is equal to N2 by N1. If I take this equation, V2 by V1 is equal to N2 by N1, then what is that? N2 by N1 is equal to V2 divided by V1. So now the unknown parameter for us here is secondary voltage V2. So V2 is equal to V1 into N2 by N1. So V1 just now we have calculated here. So what is the value of V1? V1 is 239.76. So substitute value of V1 as 239.76. N2 and N1, these are given for us. So N2 value is, the value of N2 is 432 and N1 is 144. So substitute all the values, then calculate for secondary voltage V2. V2 is equal to 719.28 volts. So here equal to sign is missing. Here it is, V2 is equal to 719.28 volts. 719.28 volts. So once you calculate for V2, now you substitute in this equation. I2 is equal to load kVA divided by V2. Load kVA is 1.2 kVA, that is 1.2 to 10 raised to 3, and the value of secondary voltage V2 is 719.28. So substitute, then the no load current is I2 is equal to 1.6683 amperes. 1.6683 amperes. So here unit is missing, you need to write the unit. Right. Now calculate turns ratio or transformation ratio K. K is equal to N2 by N1. N2 is given as 433 and N1 is given as 144. So 432 divided by 144, this will be equal to 3. Right. So now you calculate secondary current I2 dash, that is load component of secondary current referred to primary side is I2 dash. I2 dash is equal to K times of I2. K times of I2. Here the value of K, it should be 3, but by mistake it is printed as 2 here. You make this value of K as 3 here. All of you getting? So this you should take it as 3 here. 3 into 1.6683, then the answer will be 5 ampere. Make this correction. This is not 2, this is 3. K value is 3 here. 3 into 1.6683 is equal to 5 ampere. So this is the value of I2 dash. So now you need to calculate for primary current. Yes or no? You need to calculate the value of this primary current I1. So if I want to calculate the value of I1, I should have vector sum of I2 dash plus vector sum of I0. So if I know the value of I0, if I know the value of I2 dash, then if I take its algebraic sum or vector sum, if I take its vector sum, then you will be getting the value of primary current I1. So we have calculated for I2 dash here. Already we have calculated for I2 dash. which is given as K times of I2. K is 3 and I2 is 1.6683, 5 ampere. That value of I2 dash is 5 ampere. Now let us calculate what is the value of I0, no load current. Okay. So we know that IC, active component IC, is given by I0 cos pi naught. So I0 is 1 ampere cos pi naught, that is 0.26. So the answer for IC is 0.26. Then similarly calculate for magnetizing component IM. IM value is I0 sin pi naught. I0 is 1, sin pi naught is sine of cos inverse of 0.26. Sine of cos inverse of 0.26, it will be 0.9656 ampere. Now, next, I2 dash into cos pi 2. I2 dash is how much here? 5 ampere cos pi 2. Cos pi 2 is given as load power factor. 5 into 0.8. 0.8 is cos pi 2. 5 into 0.8 is 4 ampere. Similarly, I2 dash into sin pi 2. I2 dash is 5 ampere. I2 dash is 5 ampere and sin pi 2 is sine of cos inverse of 0.8, that is 0.6. 5 into 0.6 is 3 ampere. Right. Now, if I want to get the value of primary current I1, refer this phasor diagram. I1 can be the vector addition of I2 dash and I0. I1 can be vector addition of I2 dash and I0. And now here in this case, I1 is nothing but I0 plus I2 dash. Now let us calculate the to get this vector addition. Next you need to calculate x component of I1, right? So x component of I1 means I0 sin pi naught plus I2 dash sin pi 2. So sine function values. So sine function values. This you have to consider here. So I0 sin pi naught plus I2 dash sin pi 2. So I0 is 1 sine of cos inverse of 0.26. This is no load power factor. No load power factor angle that you have to take here. I0 is 1 sine of cos inverse of 0.26. That value will be how much? 0.96, and I2 dash is sine pi 2. So sine I2 dash means it is 5 ampere. Sine of cos inverse of 0.8. Pi 2 is load power factor angle, right? I2 dash is 5 ampere. Sine of cos inverse of 0.8, it will be 3. So sum of 0.9656 plus 3 is equal to 3.9656 ampere. So this is the answer for x component of primary current I1. Similarly, you calculate for y component. For y component, we are taking cosine function. So I0 cos pi naught plus I2 dash cos pi 2. So in place of sine, you replace that by cos function here. Okay. I0 cos pi naught plus I2 dash cos pi 2. Cos pi 2. Okay. I0 is 1 ampere. Cos pi naught means this is no load power factor angle. Cos pi naught is 0.26. I2 dash is 5 ampere into cos of this, cos pi 2 is 0.8. Directly it is given. I2 dash is 5 into 0.8. So that will be 4. 5 into 0.8 will be how much? I2 dash 5 into 0.8 will be 4. So 0.26 plus 4 will be 4.26. So now this will be the answer for your y component of I1. Y component of I1. Now, to get the value of primary current, I1, I should add x component and y component, that is real part and imaginary part. So x component is real part. Real part is 3.9656 plus imaginary part is j times of 4.26. So this is the rectangular form. Convert this rectangular form to get polar form of primary current. So polar form of primary current is magnitude is 5.82 ampere at an angle of 47.04 ampere. Now if I want to calculate its magnitude, I1 will be already here. This is my magnitude. This is magnitude in polar form and this is the power angle. Okay. Now in the other way, I1 is equal to square root of real part whole square, that is 3.9656 whole square plus imaginary part 4.26 whole square, that is once again 5.82 ampere. So this is the answer for primary current I1. I1 is equal to 5.82 ampere. So to get this answer, we need to calculate all x component, y component, magnetizing component, active. Then what is that? Magnetizing component, active component, I2 dash cos pi 2, I2 dash sin pi 2, then this I2 dash. So depending on all these values, finally we are going to estimate the value of I1, that is primary current. Okay, you can see here. So this is my I2 dash, and this is y component. What is that? Y component. I2 dash is I2 dash cos pi 2, I2 dash sin pi 2. Similarly, x component. What is that? I2. So this is was 4.26. So what is my 4.26 here? This is y component, and 3.9656. This is x component, x and y component. So here this if I add these two values, then I'm going to get primary current I1. I1 is nothing but I2 dash plus I0. I2 dash plus I0. Then the third parameter what we are supposed to calculate here is primary power factor. Primary power factor. Okay. So to calculate that primary power factor, pi is measured with respect to, see here, pi is measured with respect to V1 axis, that is y axis, because V1 is lying on, you can see here, this is my V1 which is lying on the y axis. And if I want to measure what is the power factor angle pi 1, so this is my power factor angle pi 1 here. So pi 1 is the angle between V1 and I1. I1 is this one, current phasor I1, and this is voltage phase, primary voltage phasor V1, right? So angle between V1 and I1 is pi 1. So this angle I should calculate it now, right? So if I want to get this value, then let us see the solution part here. So the note that pi is measured with respect to V1, that is y axis. Pi 1 is equal to, so what is this 47.04? So this is the angle. What is that? 47.04 is angle of here you can see 47.04. This is the angle that is given by primary current I1, right? So if I subtract this value with 90 degree, because your V1 it is lying along y axis, which is exactly 90 degree. If you refer this phasor diagram here, so this will be how much? This will be 90 degree. So from this 90 degree, what I will do, I will subtract 47.04. This magnitude followed by angle. Polar form angle of primary current is 47.04. So subtract this value from 90 degrees. So that will be 90 minus 47.04. 90 minus 47.04. Then you will be getting the answer for no load. What is that? Primary power factor is 42.96 degrees. 42.96 degrees. Now, for this is the power factor angle. Now, if I want to calculate primary power factor, then you should apply cosine. Cosine of pi 1, that is cos of pi 1. Cos of 42.96 is 0.7348 degree lagging. 0.7348 lagging. 0.7348 lagging, because the transformer is a inductive load, right? So transformer is an inductive kind of load. So here power factor will be lagging in nature. So pi 1 is 90 minus 47.04. 47.04 that you are getting from the angle of, what is that? Primary current I1. So 90 minus 47.04 will be 42.96. So this is primary power factor angle. Then primary power factor means cos of 42.96. Cos of 42.96 is 0.7348 lagging. Right. Now let us see the next problem on equivalent circuit of single phase transformer. Similarly, we can solve by making use of the same equivalent circuit parameters. We can also estimate efficiency and voltage regulation. In the first problem, we will see how to calculate only equivalent circuit parameters here. Right. So, given problem statement is a 15 kVA 2200 bar 110 volt transformer has R1 is equal to 1.75 ohms, R2 is equal to 0.0045 ohms. The leakage reactances are, primary leakage reactance X1 is 2.6 ohms, secondary leakage reactance X2 is 0.75 ohms. Calculate first one, equivalent resistance referred to primary. Then second one, equivalent resistance referred to secondary. Then third one, equivalent resistance referred to primary. Then fourth one, equivalent resistance referred to secondary. Then fifth one, equivalent resistance referred to primary. Then sixth one, equivalent resistance referred to secondary. Then seventh one, equivalent resistance referred to primary. Then Third one, equivalent reactance referred to primary. Fourth one, equivalent reactance referred to secondary. Fifth one, equivalent impedance referred to primary. Next, sixth one, equivalent impedance referred to secondary. Then finally, you should calculate total copper loss. So here this is the problem based on equivalent resistance of transformer. Now let us see. First, you write down all the given parameters. Given values are R1 is 1.75 ohms, R2 is 0.0045 ohms, primary reactance X1 is 2.6 ohms, secondary reactance is 0.0075 ohms. Then calculate the value of transformation ratio K. K is given by what here? V2 by V1. So V2 is 110 and V1 is 2200. So the value of K is 0.005. Now, first you calculate equivalent resistance referred to primary. Equivalent resistance referred to primary side means keep primary parameters on the same side, just to shift secondary parameters to primary. It means you are moving in the backward direction, then I have to divide the things by K square here. So first one, I should calculate equivalent resistance referred to primary, R1E. R1 means equivalent resistance referred to primary. R1 is equal to R1 plus R2 dash. R2 dash means this is the secondary resistance which we have shifted to the primary side, which we have transferred or shifted to the primary side, means we are moving in the backward direction. So always remember, if you are moving in the backward direction, means you should divide it this R2 by K square. So the value of R2 dash is R2 by K square. So R1 plus R2 dash is nothing but R2 by K square. So what is the value of R1 here? R1 is given as 1.75 and R2 dash is R2 by K square. R2 is 0.0045 and the value of K is 0.05 whole square. Simplified, the answer for R1E primary equivalent resistance is 3.55 ohms. Then calculate R2E, that is equivalent resistance referred to secondary side. So R2, keep second resistance on the same side, just to transfer primary resistance to the secondary. Means primary you move to the secondary, means you are moving in the forward direction. If you are moving in the forward direction, means we have to multiply it R1 dash, that is R1 dash is equal to R1 into K square. So here K square should be multiplied. So R2E, which is nothing but equivalent resistance referred to secondary side, R2 plus R1 dash. R1 dash I have moved primary resistance to the secondary side, means we are moving from we are moving in the forward direction. If we are moving in the forward direction, means R1 dash will be R1 into K square. K square is multiplied here. So R2 is equal to R2 plus R1 dash, that is equal to R2 plus K square into R1. So that is equal to, what is the value of R2 here? That is 0.0045. Then R1 dash means K square into R1. K square means 0.05 whole square into R1 is 1.75. So the answer for R2 is 0.00887 ohms. Then third value, we should calculate equivalent reactance referred to primary side. So how we have calculated for resistance, similarly you can calculate for reactance also. So now equivalent reactance referred to primary side means X1E. X1E is equal to X1 plus X2 dash. X1 as it is, X2 dash means we are moving secondary reactance to the primary side, means backward direction. Then X2 dash will be X2 by K square. X1 is 2.6, X2 is 0.0075. X1 is 2.6, X2 is 0.075 and K value is 0.05 whole square. Simplify, then X1E equivalent primary equivalent resistance, primary equivalent reactance referred to primary side only, that is X1E is equal to 5.6 ohms. Then X2E, that is fourth parameter, secondary equivalent leakage reactance. X2E means keeping secondary reactance on the same side, just you should transfer primary reactance to the secondary, means you are moving in the forward square. So X2 is equal to X2 plus X1 dash. X2 that is equal to X2 plus K square into X1. So X2 is 0.0075 plus K is 0.005, K square means whole square, into the value of X1 given as 2.6. Simplify, the answer for this will be 0.014 ohms. 0.014 ohms. Now In the same way, now you calculate for fifth parameter, that is primary equivalent impedance, Z1E. Impedance is combination of resistance and reactance. Z1E is nothing but R1E plus JX1E. R1E is 3.55. Then JX1E, JX1E is 5.6. 3.55 plus J 5.6. So if I want to get its magnitude, then Z1E is equal to under root of 3.55 whole square plus 5.6 whole square, whose answer is 6.6304 ohms. Then similarly, next you calculate for Z2E, secondary equivalent impedance. Z2E is equal to R2E plus JX2E. R2E is 0.00887 plus J times of X2E means 0.014 ohms. So if I want to get its magnitude, means Z2E is equal to under square root of 0.00887 whole square plus 0.0014 whole square. Then the answer for that will be 0.01657 ohms. Then the last parameter what you are supposed to calculate is to find full load copper loss, calculate full load current. So full load copper loss you need to calculate here. Okay, so to calculate full load copper loss, we should calculate full load current. So we know that full load current primary I1 is full load. Full load means FL here. Primary side full load current I1 FL is equal to kVA into 1000 divided by primary voltage V1. So kVA is given as 25 kVA into 1000 divided by 2200. Primary voltage is 2200. So primary side full load current is 11.3636 ampere. So full copper loss means I square into R, and that too if it is primary side means I1 square, I1 FL whole square into R1E, equivalent resistance on primary side, R1E. It is as good as I square R. So I1 FL whole square is equal is 11.3636 whole square into R1E is how much? You can see here the value of R1E. The value of R1E here in this case is 3.55 ampere, 3.55 ohms. 3.55 ohms. So substitute, this is 3.55, not 355, it is 3.55. So the answer for total copper loss on primary side is 458.4194 watts. Similarly, you can cross check if the what will be the copper loss on the secondary side, right? This can be cross checked as full load current on secondary side. I2 FL is equal to kVA 1000 divided by, instead of V1 now I should take it as V2 because this is secondary current, secondary voltage. So once again kVA is 25 into 1000 divided by V2 is given as 110. So full load current on secondary side is 227.272. Now calculate total copper loss. So now the total copper loss. So here to calculate total copper loss, we have taken the help only of primary current and equivalent resistance on primary side. But now here we will calculate the things individually. Total copper loss means what? Copper loss on primary side and copper loss on secondary side. So now primary side copper loss is I1 square R1, secondary side is I2 square R2. But in the previous case here, to calculate whole transformer total copper loss, here just we have taken the help of R1E. R1E is what? Combination of R1 plus R2 dash. So it is going to take into account both the resistance of primary as well as secondary resistance. So here we are just cross checking whether this answer it is having same value with the separation of copper losses, calculation of copper losses on primary and secondary, that is I1 square R1 and I2 square R2. Is it same with the earlier calculation or not? So now here in this case I1 square R1, I1 is primary current, just now we have calculated 11.3636 whole square. R1 it is 1.75, it is given for us, and secondary current full load current I2 square is 227.272 whole square, and R2 is given as how much? R2 is given in the problem statement. The value for R2 is 0.0045. So here it is not visible clearly. For that sake, the value of R2 is 0.0045. Then after calculating total copper loss, is 8.419. So you can have a look over here. So after transferring the parameters either from secondary to primary or from primary to secondary, here we have taken primary side, that is we are shifted secondary parameters to the primary, that is equivalent resistance on primary side. This is also giving the same answer, and whereas if I calculate the same copper loss separately on primary and secondary side, that this is also going to give us same answer. It means that even if we shift the parameters from primary to secondary or secondary primary, the results are same. That is the meaning here. So this is the basic problem based on equivalent circuit of single phase transformer. Now let us find out what is that regulation. Let us find out the regulation using the next type of problem here. At 20 kVA 2000 bar 200 volt single phase transformer has the following parameters. HV winding R1 is equal to 3 ohms, X1 is equal to 5 ohms, LV winding. Then, so these are the parameters of high voltage winding. Yeah, so your primary side is high voltage winding, whose resistance R1 is 3 ohms, its reactance X1 is 5.3 ohms. Similarly, secondary winding is LV winding, its resistance, second resistance winding R2 is 0.05 ohms, and its leakage reactance X2 is 0.01 ohms. With these given parameters, find the regulation at first one. Find the voltage regulation at first one, power factor of 0.8 lagging. Then second power factor cos pi is 1. Unity power factor means cos pi is equal to 1. Here cos pi is 0.8. Third one is cos pi is equal to 0.707 power factor leading. Right. Now, here you should calculate voltage regulation by making use of the equivalent circuit parameters. So write down all the given parameters. So V1 is 2000, V2 is 200, then R1 is 3 ohms, R2 is 0.05, X1 is 5.3, X2 is 0.1 ohms. Then calculate K. To calculate K is nothing but V2 by V1. V2 is 200, V1 is 2000. 200 divided by 2000 will be 0.1. Now calculate for R1E, primary equivalent resistance. R1 is R1 plus R2 dash. So here we are moving second resistance to the primary, means backward direction. So R1, R2 dash will be what? R2 by K square. So R1 is 3, R2 is 0.05 and K is 0.1. Substitute all the values, then R1E is 8 ohms. Similarly, calculate for X1E. X1E is nothing but X1 plus X2 dash. X1 value is 5.3, X2 dash means X2 by K square. X2 value is 0.1 and the value of K is 0.1. So it will be 0.1 whole square, and X1E value will be 15.3 ohms. Now calculate full load primary current. I1 FL is nothing but kVA divided by V1. kVA is how much? kVA, it is given as 20 kVA, 20 into 10 raised to 3. 20 into 10 raised to 3 divided by V1 is 2000. Primary voltage is 2000. So 20 into 10 raised to 3 divided by 2000. So full load primary current will be 10 ampere. Now, we need to calculate voltage regulation for different power factor conditions. So the first given power factor condition is cos pi is 0.8 lagging. If cos pi is 0.8, then corresponding sin pi will be 0.6. So how this can be obtained? We should take this as sine of cos inverse of 0.8. Sine of cos inverse of 0.8 will be 0.6. Now, formula to calculate percentage regulation is I1 into R1E cos pi plus X1E into sin pi divided by V1 into 100. Since the load given here is lagging, so here we should take it as plus sign. So substitute all the values. Primary current I1 we have calculated, R1E we have calculated, cos pi is given, X1E we have calculated, we know V1. Everything is known for us, just to substitute and get the answer for that. So substitute I1. The value of I1 is 10. So substitute I1 as 10. Then R1E, X1E. R1E is how much here? R1 is 8, X1 is 15.3. So R1E 8, then this is X1E. X1E is 3. R1 is 8 and x1 is 15.3. R1 is 8 and x1 is 15.3. Cos pi is 0.8, sin pi is 0.6, and V1 is how much here? V1 is 2000. V1 is 2000. So substitute, then you are getting percentage regulation for cos pi is equal to 0.8 lagging. The answer is 7.79%. Similarly, calculate regulation for UPF. UPF means cos pi will be 1 and sin pi will be 0. It means that sine of cos inverse of 1 is 0. Then we make use of same formula. I1 is whatever we have calculated. Substitute the value of I1. R1 is 8. Then cos pi is 1, whereas sin pi is 0. So the whole term becomes 0 and V1 is 2000. Then multiply it with 100. Then the answer for this will be 4%. The answer for this will be 4%. Similarly, we calculate for 0.07 leading. Here 0.07 leading means here in place of plus sign I should take minus sign. Leading means minus sign you should take. So substitute the value of I1, R1e, cos pi you should take it as 0.707, X1e. X1 is whatever we have calculated here. X1 is nothing but 15.3. 15.3. X1 is 15.3. R1 is 8. This value you substitute in the third formula. And how to get the value of sin pi? So sin pi means the sine of cos inverse of 7 point sine of cos inverse of 0.707. So once again this will be same answer only, that is 0.707 into 100. If you do, then regulation will be negative because it is leading power factor. So always for leading power factor, regulation will be negative. This is the conclusion, right? There are same type of problems you can see here. So here there is another problem you can see. Same whatever we have discussed, all these parameters are given to you. So after solving all those values of equivalent circuit parameter, what you should do? You need to redraw the circuit diagram. This is equivalent circuit, primary side. So this is approximate equivalent circuit, right? So this is magnetizing branch. This is total resistance of transformer R1e, total equivalent reactance X1e. This is load side terminal voltage, all values whatever you are calculating. So you need to redraw this equivalent circuit. This is your approximate equivalent circuit of the transformer. Redraw it, and whatever values you have calculated, you should substitute. So this circuit diagram you are going to get once you estimate the values of this numerical problem, right? So this is the one kind of problem based on circuit parameters.